Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. And of course, we know that the government is shut down and everybody is just kind of having a good day. Anyway, time for us to check in with our good friend, Jim Dornan. Jim has been in the trenches there for a long time. He's been in this game for a long time. He's a Republican strategist. He's an all-around cool dude. And look at him. Look at that smile on his face. That's because there is nothing to talk about because the government shut down.
I was going to give you this on that shutdown.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. What's it like there?
You know, it's funny. You can walk into any CVS or dinner spot, bar. That's all anybody's talking about. Of course, it really doesn't have that much impact inside of D.C. Now, right outside of D.C., of course it does. Lots of federal workers here, obviously. Mm-hmm. And then we wonder how it's being discussed, beyond the Beltway. And I mean, it's a bad thing. And no question about that. I mean, not funding the government, and it's easily avoidable. But, you wonder how much people really care. I mean, of course, there are hardcores out there who say, good, less government, the better. But, there are people whose livelihoods depend on the government. So that's something that these guys really don't think of, to be honest with you.
Do you have any feel for when it might end?
It doesn't look like soon. The House is not here. The Senate is, and obviously you have to have both. The Senate is going to have another vote today, which is going to fail. It's on a previous piece of legislation that's failed. And the thing is that they saw this coming, and there's really no excuse for it. And both sides are to blame. It's not just one side or the other, even though the poll numbers are not helping Trump at all. But the Republicans get blamed every single time this happens anyway. But Trump said, publicly, don't negotiate with the Democrats. Well, it's awful hard to do when you don't have a 60-seat majority in the Senate to not talk to the other side. So, and that's exactly what the other side is saying. That Schumer's saying, hey, you know what? I got burned on this once. I'm not going to get burned on it again. And the issue is subsidies for Obamacare. And that's a subject that Democrats will hold very dear to their heart and will hold on to things until they can get their way. And they have the votes to do it, frankly.
As early as this morning, now I don't know if this is true, so you're there, you could verify it, but it looked like 5 Democrats, they need 7, 5 are saying now they're ready to vote for it. Have you?
There are. Yes. Fetterman has said, I'm not voting ever to shut down the government. So his stance has been pretty clear from the get-go. And then you've got, I guess you call them pretty moderate Democrats like Jeanne Shaheen, who's retiring and doesn't have to face the voters after this, so she can go with exactly where her heart feels. And I think the other 5 or the other 3 actually are in similar circumstances to her, either retiring or in a super safe state for re-election, because ultimately and sadly, that's what it comes down to.
The flip side of this, Jim, is it looks like the president is telling agency leaders to take a furlough and turn it into a permanent firing. Is that real? Is that true?
Well, it's going to go to the courts. The unions or lawyers, either one, that represent government workers are challenging that. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, to be honest with you. I think they have a leg to stand on. But, I mean, the way the courts have been ruling the last couple of years, you never know. I mean, ultimately, what it's going to take is a short-term CR or continuing resolution that funds the government completely and gives them a couple weeks to work out the stuff on the Obamacare. And there are a couple other minor issues that both sides want to see. And I think they'll do it. I mean, if past history is any judge, this will be solved in the next week or 2.
Okay, so it looks like both sides are dug in. This is going to have to write it out. I mean, you can point fingers all day long. We've been down this road, but even if they get the CR eventually down the road, you're still looking at a short term where we're at this again because they have to come up with the budget.
That's correct. And again, going to blame, you can say, well, the House is supposed to pass 13 appropriations bills by September 30, and they haven't done it. And I, for the life of me, I don't know why they can't do it. um, probably because of a bunch of peripheral issues that don't belong in those bills anyway. But they're must passes. So members are trying to get their specific piece of legislation that they want and know that that bill has to pass and will be signed by the president because it funds the government.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a mess, and I hate seeing it, and it's further dividing Congress. I mean, it's getting really ugly. The Republicans will not right now. There's a new member of Congress from Arizona who took, I think, is her father or her uncle's place because he passed away. She was elected in a special election a week or two ago, and the Republicans will not swear her in. Um, and that's might be because of the Jeffrey Epstein bill, might be because they just want to play difficult hardball. It just, I don't know. It's just getting worse. I mean, there's nothing that's looking good on the horizon right now as far as Congress is concerned.
So how does this play out in midterms? I mean, people will start filing here shortly, towards the end of the year. They start filing, and that comes up, and the midterms will be in the spring. You're the strategist. What are you sensing and feeling?
So in Virginia, there's a set of elections before the midterm. There's a governor's race in New Jersey and a governor's race in Virginia. They have this odd system. In Virginia, this is not helping the Republicans at all. They have a ton of federal workers who are right outside the Beltway, and they'll vote, and they'll probably favor the Democrat. I think she's up by maybe between 7 and 10 points right now, according to public polls. And then you've got the lieutenant governor and the attorney general up as well. And then you got their state legislatures. In New Jersey, where Trump was not popular at one point, seems to be more popular, and they have a good candidate for governor there, and Jack Ciattarelli, and he is closing in on the Democrat, and it remains to be seen there. So, I mean, this will absolutely have an impact on both those races. Going to the midterms, if they resolve this in the next few weeks, I mean, it'll be brought up in various ads, but I don't think it's going to have a long-term impact for anybody else that knows directly affected, like federal workers.
Okay. In the meantime, the president's floating the idea that with the money that the tariffs are bringing in, he was toying with the idea of sending everybody a $2,000 check. Now,
that'd be nice.
Okay, a little hypothetical here, but let's say he gets this, and when does he drop the check? Just before the midterms?
I'd say probably a week or so before the end of the midterms, Perry. If inflation goes up because of those tariffs, then Trump is going to have to do something to mitigate the damage to that. And there are signs, they're simple and low right now, but I mean, this could take off. And if they have, if you have higher toy prices at Christmas, it's going to be a problem for the Republicans. And you've got some Republicans starting to talk to Trump and back channels and saying this has got to stop, because companies now, Home Depot being one, and a few other major companies are saying this is not good and we're going to have to raise prices. Walmart, I think, said it as well. And those are run by Republicans, and they're telling Trump our prices are going to go up. And Trump is telling them, don't raise your prices. He's not saying I'll stop the tariffs. He's saying don't raise prices. And you're not going to tell a businessman that around Christmas time is the busiest time of year.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Any talk publicly, and maybe your own thoughts about the president's 20-point peace plan for Gaza, which we got a report earlier today that Hamas is basically saying no deal. What's your feel?
And so just about 20 minutes ago, before I came on with you, Trump said, if you don't get this solved by Sunday, I'm going to bomb the living daylights out of you, or Israel's going to bomb the living daylights out of you. It's an amazing plan. I mean, it was 21 points when Trump sat down with Netanyahu, and then he got one of those points taken care of, and he got Netanyahu to call the prime minister, or whatever the title is, of Qatar, and apologize for bombing them a few weeks ago.
Right.
I mean, that is unbelievable to me that he was able to get that done. And so it looks like all the Arab countries are on board. I mean, Hamas is going to have to accept something and do it quickly. The hostages have been there forever, and Gaza itself is a complete mess, as you've probably seen from various films. So I don't think Hamas has much of a choice on accepting this or not. I think they're going to have to.
In the meantime, doesn't the president and the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu kind of win the PR war here, because they got everybody on board? They've done everything known. They've extended every ounce of patience and willingness to work out a deal, and then Hamas says no. I mean, at that point, it's kind of a green light, isn't it?
No question. In fact, it makes Hamas look like exactly what they are, which is a terrorist group. I mean, they kind of accidentally became the ruling party, if you will, because of anger at the PLO. And there was an election, decades ago, and the Gazan people and the PLO basically said, yeah, we'll take something new because we're unhappy with Arafat and his people. So that's the way we should be looking at it. Hamas is not legitimately representing the Palestinians, but they happen to be doing it now. And I think that people are going to come to grips with that and say, okay, these guys got to go. They're not looking out for the best interests of the people, and more people are going to die. Frankly, a lot more people are going to die.
Does Senator Schumer get reelected?
That's a great question. My family ties to New York, so I keep a close eye on what's going on up there. AOC it's interesting watching her right now because she went from this kind of screaming left winger, and she's kind of quieted down now and started speaking in policy terms and political terms that people can relate to a little bit more than what she came to Washington doing. I think that the reason that Schumer is holding this up, which essentially he is, I mean, it could be passed if the Democrats gave everything up and said, okay, go ahead, vote for it, we'll support it. But he's not going to do that. And the reason he's not going to do it is because the last time this happened, earlier in the year, February, I believe, he caved completely to Trump and to the Republicans. And the base are furious right now. Some of those bases are going to continue to be furious and will vote for somebody like AOC. But I mean, I think he's probably playing this politically the right way, if not policy-wise for the country the right way.
Wow. All right. Anything else going on we need to know about other than you're not going to work these days?
It's a gorgeous day here in D.C. And I will, when I go out to lunch, I'm sure I will hear nothing but shut down, and people saying, when's it going to, they ought to start a pool. You ought to be able to bet on when the shutdown ends.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say it's probably going to go through next week.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Jim, good to see you, buddy. Take care and enjoy a little peaceful time there.
I will. It's a Friday. I absolutely will. This town goes to sleep Friday at noon anyway.
All right. God bless you, friend. See you later.
All right, my friend. See you later.